welcome. Thanks for being featured Blood Moon Orchestra artists for April. This is exciting. It's been really fun, like hanging out with different ladies each month and like seeing what everyone's doing.
Does everybody know each other?
Yeah. Well,
Has everybody met?
yeah.
We've all met.
We've all just met if we haven't met already.
Nice. No, I'm just making sure because I know that like Princella, she came out to one of our shows and like we've all kind of been crossing paths, but I feel like out of all the people here, you're the person I don't know the best. So I'm so glad that you're doing this with us tonight. Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm really I'm super honored that I was asked. I haven't really been out there on live streaming and all of that during this pandemic. So this is like one of my first times being like, oh yeah, I've been doing music, but being like, yeah, I'm a musician and I'm an active part of the community. So it's a nice reminder. It's good. But I'm also like, well, I haven't been around even people like this, in a long time. So if I get weird.
Likewise. Absolutely.
Nice.
So yeah, wow, this pandemic has been something, right? So last year, March 7th, I played so Prince cover band Purple Rain. Katrina and me have played together many times, many cover shows. Um, but we played the Tractor, and we started a George Michael tribute band to open for our Prince tribute band so that we could do the entire show. It was a brilliant idea we had. It's really exhausting, but it worked. We sold out the Tractor March 7th. We played to like 550 people or whatever it is now. And then like a week later, it was like you can only have 150 people in the thing. So it was, I feel like we unknowingly threw a super spreader event without knowing, but hey, now, flash forward, it's been now over a year since my last show, and I've been a musician for 14, 15 years of like not ever really taking a break, band after band, tour, and just going. So it's been really interesting and a really nice reflective moment for me with every aspect of my life, but especially music, and kind of figuring out, if I'm going to do this, what do I want to portray myself as, what do I want people to see me as, and also what, kind of reckoning with how Seattle has seen me in the past, which like I've realized I don't like that, but it's also something, that we put on ourselves because we put out a persona, whether, whatever aspect of ourselves that may be. And, I feel like mine was like, oh, the 80s, anything new wave, I got asked to be on all these shows, but I realized through everything that like POC, Black shows, things like a lot of things that like were geared more towards Black artists, I was just like not being put on lists, for instance, of bands that you should listen to, even though those same publications have they've done pieces on our band. And so I was just like, where's the missing link there? So I feel like this has been, I've been definitely writing more and taking that a little bit more seriously and writing more from a more authentic place than I thought I ever could. And also, oh, this is hard to say, but like really trying to find my true voice. I have done cover show after cover show, and I do great at imitating and doing that whole thing. But kind of realizing that I've tried to fit myself into a box that I don't necessarily fit into, and my voice doesn't fit into. And so really like kind of singing more authentically instead of trying to put out this persona of oh, what would sound best in this song, or what does someone want me to sound like, or what do other people want, pretty much. Like I don't care anymore. So that's been interesting, and it's been really good. And I'm in my 30s, and it's, I feel at times I'm like, wow, long time coming, I guess. And why didn't I wish I would have realized this sooner, but I think that it's my time now, and that's just the way it is. So
That's awesome.
yeah, thank you. So, when more Blood Moon Orchestra shows actually start up, I know I'm going to be jumping up on that stage way more, and actually like being an active part and not telling myself that that's something that I can't do or I don't do. It's been really interesting to realize, I'm sure for all of us, the limitations that we put on ourselves that we didn't even realize we did on a regular basis, and breaking those down, and how beautiful that's been, honestly, and freeing. So that's been nice. And then also, yeah, kind of definitely with Trick Handles, which is my main band, and with my partner Robbie, we live together, and we've gotten through the pandemic surprisingly well, which is great. Really, and still been able to do music. We turned our closet into like a recording studio, a little vocal booth to have more privacy, and just really try and write and have nights where we feel kind of normal and have like fake shows together. We haven't been streaming them because that's just for me, I don't know if it's a comfort thing or maybe it's just like I I don't know if I want people to be a part of this process with me because it feels kind of private, and I'd rather come out and be like, bam, this is me. Also, a lot of people know I've gone through a name change, which
Yes.
has been pretty major. So I've been Princella Ray for my entire Seattle life, which I've lived here since I was, 18. I lived here a year during high school, so quite some time now. And it was a whole story, but pretty much it was my great grandmother's name. I loved her. I actually knew her until I was 10 years old, and she passed away, and she gave me her name. And then I was kind of given an option to live, I don't know, I would say an easier life. My mom was like, hey, I wanted to name you this and you can kind of choose. And I was like, well, okay, I'm going to go with Priscilla, because that was a name that I had heard of, and, was definitely Priscilla Presley, I think was like my big, I was like, oh, yeah, that's a, famous person with that name. And I think back on it now, and it's just really, I feel like I've been disrespectful to my grandmother, and she was such a strong woman and all that she did. And also realizing the privilege that I've kind of given myself by changing my name, which is a weird thing to reckon with as well, because Priscilla probably got answered more on job applications and things like that than Princella would have. And I realized that, and that's, it's something to reckon with. But now it's time to kind of like start my new life. So I feel like with music, it's like a rebirth. It's all of it. So I'm really excited to share everything when it's ready to go with everyone and all of you, and to be more active with the women in this music scene, because there's so many amazing ones. And I really spent so much time in bands, just being tunnel vision at my shows. Like, if I play with you, then I'll see you. And if not, then I probably won't. And we all, I'm sure, get like that a lot. And it's just, I don't want to be a musician like that necessarily, like I want to enjoy the scene that I'm a part of, and enjoy what other people are contributing to it, because that's, that gives you inspiration to continue. And I was feeling a little burned out. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
this is
agree.
cool.
I think we all were feeling burned out, and this has been like such a great like reset to just get to know yourself and be like, okay, what do I really want?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's so cool. I love that you changed your name back. I
Yeah.
love it. Princella. I love it.
Yeah. It's a weird
beautiful.
thing. And then being in a Prince tribute band, it's
Yeah.
also like, I've wanted to do this. I've been thinking about it for years, and was like, well, now I can't, which is ridiculous because
No.
it's my name.
Yeah.
And also my granny was Prince way before Prince was. Her name actually was Prince, and her middle name was Ella.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
that is
I guess
cool.
really popular for women in 1910 in the South. But, yeah. So I had to, I think that this pandemic was good for me to stop and be like, wait, it's my name. Why would I be embarrassed? Like, if anything, I think a lot of it was being more embarrassed of the fact that I chose like to not honor her in this way. But life goes on, and my family has been really, really supportive, which has been amazing, and they're all really proud of me, and they all called me Priscilla and did the whole thing, and were like, probably, I don't understand why, she's doing this, but nobody said anything. No, there's no I told you so's or anything like that. So that was, definitely nice to feel welcome and embraced. I don't really see my family. They're all in Cincinnati. So
Mhm.
A little bit of like taking yourself back as well. You're talking about, going back to all the things that you love and all the things that you are, and really trying to figure that out, and how you became this other thing because of society.
It really is. It's all societal.
You know what I mean? And so like, I feel like my 30s, and I don't know about anybody else here. Heather, you're not in your 30s yet, but like my 30s were some of the best years of my life, as far as like taking control of what it is that I wanted to do with my life,
Mhm.
and how I was able to like focus in and hone on it and honor myself, and also like become part of a community of people that were really fantastic, that supported that system, that supported and were positive and were, really about me and we were all about each other, you know, helping each other, not poking each other and like trying to make each other fail, but like supporting each other and making each other like, you know, really come up. And so I feel like you're right that it is the right time for you. Your 30s are going to be amazing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you with me on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. And I already feeling it. I'm actually gonna be 35 in June. So I'm like,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I'm getting in there. I'm in there.
You are in
That's
there.
all the way. No, it feels great. It really does. You know, I've lived on my own since I was 15, so
Wow.
16. So it's been a lot of like, raising myself and learning things. And, my mom and me have a great relationship, but, things just the way they are. And it's been, yeah, it's been nice. It's like, I feel like I'm finally allowing myself to kind of go through some of those traumas and growing pains that I didn't allow myself, that I kind of skipped over and was like, I'm mature enough and I can take all of this on, and just like, you keep going, and geez, take a year off, and it really comes crashing down. But
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the rawest I've ever been, but I'm also like the truest to myself that I've ever been.
Love that.
Or at least I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. I'm trying.
I think it's a lifelong journey, we're just always getting there, but we get there, but then there's
Yeah.
always another place to go, I think.
Definitely.
I love that. I've known you for a long time. I've known you since we played at Numos back in 2012, I think it
Yeah.
was.
11, 12, something like
When
that.
you were
Yeah.
in Sweet Pups and I was in Purgato, and we both were playing guitars.
Yes. Oh, and that was an all-female show. In Cahoots was the other band.
Yeah, in Cahoots, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have that poster. It's on my wall.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
I must need to take like a copy of it. Get a
I
screen
know. I
print or
should.
something of
I'll
it.
take a picture of it, or I'll see if I can find the like file or something and give it to you.
Yeah, there's that was such a great show, and it was so early, and I remember it was still light outside.
And it was a Wednesday.
It was like a Wednesday in the summer, and the show started at like, I don't know, 6 p.m. or something like that.
Yeah.
And
it was great.
yeah, and it was great. I think like all of our parents came, like everybody's parents came to that show, because it was like early and nice, like parent show. Yeah, that was great.
It was good.
That was great. And then through Bowie Vision and Purple Main, we've gotten to play together, and
like a bunch of times.
A bunch,
that's always fun. Like putting makeup on in the mirror together.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds so good.
It's been a good time. I know.
Yeah, we need a good like green room at the back of the Nectar hang.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Totally.
Yes.
I bet Jen would let us in. We could just go back into the green room.
Oh, we definitely could. They'd be like, "Oh, what's up, Heather and Princella and Katrina? Yeah, just come on back."
They'd be like, "There's still a case of PBR in the."
Yeah, right. It's dusty by now.
Yeah. I just walked by there. With Sea Monster the other day. I was down in Fremont like a month ago, but I went to buy Sea Monster the other day, and all the posters are still from last year.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Wow.
So sad.
Yes, because he's the best. Yay. Oh, what?
when was our next show? Where was it supposed to be? April, I think, was the place over in West Seattle, Skylark.
Oh, the Skylark. Yeah, that's right.
The Skylark, they did an outdoor patio with heating that is so nice, and I highly recommend going and supporting them. I love them so much. Their
Wow,
food is so
okay.
good.
Okay.
Get a Big Kids grilled cheese. Do yourself a favor. Get a Big Kids grilled cheese. It's delicious.
It's
I
delicious.
sit here all the time because I taught at Mode next door.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did a show there in February. It was my first time
Really?
playing bass and singing in public. It was with Rain City Rock Camp for Girls.
Mm.
And I got there earlier and I saw like a bunch of teachers sitting in there from Mode that I knew. And I was like, wait a minute, there's a bar right next to the school that the teachers can just go hang out after and just get
Yeah.
drunk. I was like, wait a minute.
Wait a
I
minute.
want to work here. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you had a lesson off in the middle, you could just pop over there for a snack.
Yeah, totally.
Nice.
Right?
I love that place. They're good people.
Yeah.
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Are these hands really mine? I've been reaching for so long, so scared of what I'd find. I can't see anymore like I did before. I feel it coming through my skin. I hear it clearly on the wind. This is freedom. I am holding freedom. Follow the star, be who you are. 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 Lay your burden down and come back with me. And together, together, we can wrestle to the ground our eternal enemy who don't own me and never owned you. No, the only way to finally kill that lie is to finally live what's true. Follow the star, be who you are. 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 Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Follow the star.
Yeah, we're
So-
keeping it going. My last show was March 7th too. It was at the Skylark.
Yeah,
And
that's hilarious.
it was
Wow.
it was a very sparse crowd. And we were like, we're doing this. And then that was it. First of all, I just gotta say, thanks for inviting me. I love you guys so much. I have so many powerful healing memories of attending the BMO shows and participating in them. Like, a real feeling of sisterhood and belonging, which is so hard in our culture to really like feel and be a part of. And I always like my own ingrained conditioning that like women are supposed to compete with each other and there's not enough to go around. Like a lot of that was really dismantled by witnessing and taking part in BMO. And
Aw,
I remember one time, Heather, there was I think it was the Fred show, which was it was the Fred, and you said something like after a song, you were like, this is really fucking hard and people don't appreciate like how much talent and skill we have. And you ought to acknowledge, and I was so like inspired at how bold and courageous you were to put that out there. It was so inspiring.
Well, I think that I appreciate you saying that, because I think that when I first came onto the scene, Katrina was pretty much the first female musician to walk up to me and talk to me, and has always been super inclusive with women. And I think that, I was really grateful and appreciative of that, because I was going out by myself. I had just broken up with somebody. I was like, I'm fucking doing music. I don't care anymore. I'm just going to go out and I'm just going to go up and do it. And I was doing it by myself. And it was really great to have Katrina. And like, then just inevitably that whole entire scene of people, I ended up meeting Heather there. And, I mean, I've known Heather for almost 10 years at this point. I mean, wasn't there a point in time where you couldn't even get into the Sea Monster, but you still got in anyways?
That was me. I wasn't doing that.
No, that was
That was Eve, wasn't it?
yeah, that was Eve Barrington.
But yeah, I mean, it was like, and I appreciate that, Julia. I think that, I love the fact that the community of people that I found musically were that type of human beings. I feel like I got really lucky, because I've been in other music scenes in Seattle and it is not like that.
Right.
At all. Like, it's always dude fest and they're always assholes or jerks, and it's like, it is not the case. Our community is really just mixed with so many different people from differing backgrounds and cultures, and like, just,
Yeah.
so it's,
Yeah. And I just came back to the scene like 3 years ago. In my 20s and 30s, I did tons of largely theater, but some music, a lot of jazz music, a lot of theater. And then I moved to California for a long time, and I had a kid, and I took 10 years off from music. And so getting back into it was incredibly intimidating. So anyway, being part of BMO has been a huge part of both my personal and my professional growth in Seattle. So thank you. There are so many blessings in this time, right? I have been actively making music, writing music. I've actually I've had a handful of live streams and I've actually enjoyed them. I took myself back to being 10 in my bedroom and like performing for millions of people. And I was like, okay, it's a camera and I'm going to just, pretend that there are people there, and that works for me. And so I have enjoyed trying, flexing a different kind of performing muscle, even though I desperately miss the audience like everybody. I am putting out an album in the early fall that is a live album that was actually recorded at the Royal Room over 2 different shows. The first show was like a month before lockdown happened, so it was like the super packed house. And then
that show was nuts.
You were there. That was crazy. It was so like, I think the fire department came because it got so hot in there.
What?
The Royal Room, I've never seen it like that ever in my life.
Wow.
It was crazy. And the High Steppers were the other band that was playing. So, it was a lot of people there. And then I did another show in September after lockdown with my band, the same band, and to nobody, and was lucky enough to get really awesome recordings out of both of those. And so worked with my producer, Steve Fisk, to mix it and put it together. And so working on putting out that album, and the first single comes out May 7th.
Nice.
And so excited to, it's really fun to listen back, right, to a packed house of people and remember what that feels like, and keep it alive. And yeah, so I'm really excited to be keeping going. It's been a hell of a year personally. I'm in the middle of a divorce right now. I'm having a major family transition. Um, I decided to just like give up booze and smoking weed during this whole period, got completely sober, and have had a total spiritual awakening, and having a lot of time to myself, literally like solo time, has given me the gift of, yeah, like figuring out, like you were saying, Princella, like, who am I really when I strip away all the stuff I thought I was supposed to be or what other people said I was, like, who am I? And, I just keep meditating on, especially in our current situation in our country, like, how can I be of service? How can I use my music? How can I put my music out there, but be of service to the movement? For all people to have respect and freedom and opportunity. And I don't know yet. It's like I keep, it's like I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But right now, my everything tells me just keep working on yourself, right? Just keep working on your shit and like being truthful with what you write. And a lot of what I've been writing has not been like rock and roll. It's been more like almost like a ritual, like a very introspective ritual, like literally moving something energetically in the course of a song, and like wanting to like be able to then share that with other people, and hopefully they can have some sort of a thing. I changed my name to my grandmother's name in my 30s. After I got my first divorce, I didn't want to go back to my maiden name, and so I took my grandmother's first name as my last name. So I love that we share that, honoring
that's beautiful.
Honoring our grandmothers. And I have a 10-year-old daughter, so I'm super busy, like being a mom and being, trying to put her first in everything I do, and juggling, right, the music and everything. I don't know. I don't know where it's going now that everything's starting to open up back up, and all these festival lineups are being announced, and I'm a little like, oh my God, I don't want to get left out. And then I'm like, no, it's cool. Like, it's not like we already know we're not going back to normal. Like, there is no going back to normal. So what is the new? We don't know what it is. And I just know that I want to continue to make music and increasingly be of service, and just trying to stay humble and open to what that is, and make more connections locally as well as, beyond. I'm going to Scotland in September if all the travel restrictions allow it, because I'm feeling called. My ancestral people are calling me to go and be with the rocks and stones, and I'm like, I just want to expand my spiritual consciousness, and then like figure out how does my instrument bring that forth. Like my last name is Francis, and I didn't think about this when I changed my name, but there's the Saint Francis guy, and apparently, like one of the things he's known for saying, even though he didn't actually say it, was make me an instrument of peace. And I think about that a lot. I'm like, I want to be an instrument of peace. That's the best thing I could hope for, is to just share love and peace through music. So we'll see what happens, but it's good to be here every day, right? Because every day, like, we are here. I'm almost 50, and I am feeling more vital and excited and inspired than I have in my whole life. And I feel like anything's possible when we work together.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's inspiring.
That's really beautiful, Julia. And I just want to say, I think that as long as you follow what your instincts are telling you to do, you will find the path that you're supposed to be on and be able to help the people that you're supposed to help. Like everything will fall into line. I feel like you're already doing the work and you're on that path, and just realize that you're already on it. You don't have to make it happen. It's already happening, and you keep following the steps. And I think beautiful things are going to happen when you're in Scotland, that'll probably all tie it together and come back home and, make it all happen. That's really cool.
Thanks, lady. I
It's
appreciate
really
that.
cool.
I'm changing my scene. I'm changing my scene. I found a different view. I found a different view. I'm feeling different. I'm feeling new. I found a different view. I found a different view. But I still love you, and I still need you, yeah. Said I love you. And I need you, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. See, I don't need to change everything. No, I don't. No, I don't. I just need it sometimes. I just need to change a few. Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't need to be who you think I am. No, I'm always changing. Don't think that you can put your finger on it, finger on it, finger on it. No, 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 no. 'Cause I still need you, and I love you. Yeah, I love you.
We got to hear all about you, lady.
Yeah. Well, I've had a few firsts this month. As in like I just released my first solo song. Thank you.
Which I
Yeah.
love.
And I just turned 41, so it's like hello, I just feel like I've been just a late bloomer. I just take my time. I take my time doing things, and that's just the way it is. So so I ended up releasing a solo, and I produced it in Ableton, and then I recorded the vocals in my closet and ran it through some of my vocal effects, my vocal processor, and then redid some of the synths with using a Moog, and then Tyler, my husband, ended up mixing it and mastering it because he's been learning how to do that through this whole last year, and he's gotten really good at it. So it's like, yes, like it sometimes that's hard to find somebody who understands your music or what you're wanting. And also like I also going into it, I was like, I have the last say, this is my thing. I get the last say. And I just think because I've been in so many bands throughout my musical career, which is fine. You learn how to work with partners, multiple partners in your music relationships. And so, which has been great, which is really like, I've learned a lot throughout all of it. And I'm not saying I'm never going to be in any bands ever again, but it really, I think throughout that, I've just like taken little pieces along the way of like, oh, I like that, or, oh, I'm going to do something with that someday, or, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, it's just kind of helped shape who I am today, and like what I like musically, and what I've learned that I can do by myself, and what I know what my strong suits aren't and what they are, and the things that I want to get better at. And mixing is definitely not one of my strong suits. Like I can do it, but I think just the way I work musically is like I don't know, I come up with the ideas, the arrangement, the sounds that I like, and then but then from there I'm just like, okay, this isn't my arena anymore to figure out like what sounds fit in what places, which is fine. So you hire someone to do that, and then you just make sure that they do what you want. So anyway, another first was I did my first solo live show since the pandemic. Actually, my last solo live show was on March 7th, and it was at the Connor Burn.
Oh, we were close.
Yeah.
We were across the street.
Yeah, I know. And so anyway, it was a 420 show, and I don't smoke weed because I also quit smoking and I quit drinking, because those were things that were really holding. I just wanted to be clear-minded with all my decision making, and I just needed clarity. So that was a big word for me for last year was clarity. Yeah, this has been a weird journey. Definitely. I know everybody's handled this pandemic, and I think we've all gotten to know ourselves a little bit better, which is really great. We've been able to slow down, and I think we've all been able to be like, figure out more of what we need for our happiness, for our soul, for just to be the best versions of ourselves. I think, I mean, that's what I've been trying to strive for, is to be the best version of myself. Because yeah, I think I was going off the rails. I definitely went off the rails, and needed a moment to be like, okay, let's figure some things out, slow down a bit. So I'm appreciative of this pandemic, even though it's been really hard. Like I lost half my income due to not performing. and then yeah, your identity, because performing, if performing is pretty much your identity, when that's gone, it's like you do wait, okay, who am I? Yeah, I was like drinking a lot when the pandemic hit, when the shutdown happened. I was drinking a lot. It was like every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but I realized I was drinking, you know, leading up to it, just because I was so busy, I wasn't drinking as much. And I think when shit hit the fan, when it was like lockdown, okay, what do I do? Write songs and drink, you know? Like I'm just gonna yeah, so I was just doing a lot of that. And I'm just glad, like it was mid-June when I quit drinking, and then I was eating weed, and what I realized was I started eating it more because I quit smoking a while ago. And so what I realized was, oh, I have an addictive personality. It's like, if it's not, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm addicted to, I don't know, feeling something, not feeling something. I don't know what it is. So then about mid-August, I quit eating weed. And so I just have really been aware. This is one of the things that I've been going through, is the awareness of like, what am I going to try to replace that with? You know, is it going to be good for me? so I've just done a lot of like work on myself mentally, like asking myself these questions, and being okay with who I am, and what age I am, and that we're all like in these aging vessels, and just to be like, I'm okay with myself. I'm okay with those wrinkles that I'm seeing a little bit more of, you know, and like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with those white hairs growing in, although you can't see them because I bleach my hair. But I know that I'm taking good care of my body and my mind. I know that I'm doing that. So I'm happy about that. And I've written a lot since it was just weird with the whole, I mean, not weird, it makes sense. All that energy being put into performing, and then not having that anymore. It was like, okay, where's my energy? Needs to go somewhere. I can't spend that energy with people or with performing. And it ended up going into collaborating, like writing songs. I wrote like 8 quarantine songs, and I don't know how many collaborations I've done. Maybe, I don't know, around 40 or so songs. And just, you know, it's great, because when I was performing, I was like, oh man, I need to spend more time trying to write music. So I would try to like, okay, try to at least write 1 song a month. You know, I gave that to myself. I'm like, don't try to write a song every day or once a week. Maybe 1 a month is okay. And it doesn't have to be perfect, you know, just to keep the creative juices. But also with having Blood Moon Orchestra, where you're making stuff up and vibing off each other, like that was definitely where that creativity was going, making stuff up on the spot. Same with Upshot, you know. So I had 2 outlets where I was able to do that. And so that was a weird thing, not being able to improv with people, you know, was like really crazy, really weird to not have that. So I also started counseling, like I've been doing online counseling like since July, almost weekly. And that's been really great to be able to talk about these things, you know, and work through them in a healthy way. So yeah, I've gotten really in touch with myself, with what I need and what I want, and that it's okay to not have to go at a fast pace, or a pace that I think that I'm supposed to go, you know. And so I'm really appreciative of the time, and I'm really appreciative of doing this, gathering with ladies once a month, you know, checking in and doing this sort of thing. So it's it's been good. We've been, walks with ladies. Like me and Michelle have gotten together a few times and done some walks, and it's just, I think it's healing. So anything, that's what healing is kind of the word also that I'd like to use. But yeah, I'm excited. Oh, and I got really into, I was doing this before, but I started making jewelry more. And I know Princella, you started a company too during the pandemic, right? Dream Play
Yeah.
Love Rock.
Oh, those are amazing.
Love those.
They're just like leather pieces.
Yes.
Had fun doing them, but anyway, Dream Play Love Rock is what I started. And
Nice.
yours was what called?
So it's been a year. So I quit my full-time job a couple years ago, and I was working on a skincare line with a business partner. And things were a little rocky, but we kept going forward, and then finally launched in December, called Ray and Glow. And then things did not work out. Things were not going to work out between me and her, and I needed to get out before things got more involved. So we pretty much launched, and then after we launched, some things came to surface that like pretty much could not work together anymore. So I had to like pretty much give everybody their money back and dissolve the whole company.
Oh man.
So it was the pretty much the past year and a half focused towards that, and a lot of money, not just spent on just the time working, but also into the business and investing in graphic designers, websites, all of that. So that was a bummer. And, but I decided that I spent the last year and a half figuring out this brand. And the brand to me is what it was really about anyway, because the brand is all about uplifting women and their businesses and working with other women as well, choosing women anytime that I can for any position that I have or that I need, and then pretty much highlighting them in all of the advertisement. So if there's a picture and there was a graphic designer who worked on it, and the photographer and the model and somebody who was there assisting, and I mean, I'm gonna pretty much blow all of them up in all of their accounts, do blog post about them. And hopefully my idea is to split that part off to a nonprofit that can help do like business grants and things like that for women-owned businesses eventually. But I thought the brand was too important to not do. So now I'm doing a brand called All the Ways, ... Each product will finish the sentence. So there'll be a hair serum that's called You Shine. And there is a oil swish, so oil pull that's with a really amazing hemp root. It's like pretty much it's like the entire hemp plant, and it's a black hemp farmer, and he infuses from new moon to full moon to get the optimal effects. Like it's really amazing products. I'll be using his hemp oil and everything. So I'm really excited. I'm excited with the people that I'm partnering with, and it's going to be still a little bit, but I did just launch like the Instagram to try and get things going and build the fan base. So if you ladies want to follow, I'll be doing some really cool. So I work in the cannabis industry and have for over a decade, and do cannabis consulting and education. So I'm going to be doing blogs about information on cannabis that you don't know, hemp oil, black hemp farmers, what the hemp plant can do, and advocating towards that. It'll be a bunch of free information. I was thinking of doing coursework and things like that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give people the information for free, build around the brand, trust the brand. If you like the brand, then you can buy the products and help support or whatever. We're going to boost everything that people want to send my way anyways. Doesn't really matter. So yeah, so I will definitely be blowing up your jewelry line with my business.
Yeah. Supporting businesses.
And music, I mean, everything. I already, in the first go, I had some amazing models, come in, and, Shayna Shepherd and Taryn Dorsey, and just like some really amazing, especially women of color. I think that working with a business partner was
it's very challenging. And I think this time I can really just kind of cater it towards myself. There's other me's in the world, you know, that and then I don't really have to, you know, focus on too much more. Because before it was like, okay, we need to cater towards mothers and this and that. And it just, you know, yeah, this last year, it's like, do your thing. And, you know, you go on your path and you're going to find other people who want to jump on. It's like with Julia, you know, just do your thing.
Oh my God, I love your resilience. Like so many people will be like, I'm fucked because my partner didn't work out and I like spent all this time and now, you know, and you're just like pivoting and doing something else. And you have such a
Gotta
positive
pivot.
attitude. It's awesome.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
I do business consulting. So really, I'm just trying to be like, I'm doing what I would say to one of my clients. I'm like, girl, get up. You learned all this stuff the past year and a half. You just took your time, like doing all this, like do it. Like,
Nice.
you know,
I love that. Yeah. Look in the mirror and be like, girl.
you gotta pump yourself up. You know, it's a lot easier to tell people how to do something correctly than it is to do it yourself, which is why I love consulting and working in sales and teaching other sales reps how to sell, because I don't love pushing people, but I can teach somebody how to do it properly and how to do it with finesse. So this will definitely, this will be an interesting test, but I'm excited to do it and to be all the roles and step outside of myself and try and fill these hats. And I want a pair of your earrings though. I did see them and I've been eyeballing them. So
Yeah, I have a pair of her earrings on right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those are
so
cool.
good.
You know, speaking of putting yourself out there, like Katrina, I love all your photos that you post of yourself. Like they're really inspiring, you know, because of course you're a musician and you're putting yourself out there for promotional purposes, but it's so obvious that you're also just honoring your divine, beautiful self and you're enjoying and appreciating who you are. And it like makes me want to do the same. I love it.
Thank you. I put a few out there that are like of me in lingerie where I'm just like, I'm an adult. I do what I want. My husband took these photos and you know, like I feel like I look good. I feel sexy. So yeah, I'm going to do it. So
I love, you know, that I'm not shy about being even on stage in my lingerie and having my ass out.
I love seeing your booty on stage every time. I love it.
It feels so empowering. And honestly, like, you know, when I first started in the band and started doing it more, I was like kind of worried about how maybe even really other women would view me when I did it. Just because I was like, oh, I don't want to seem, I don't know, like being slutty or something. I don't know. But the more I went at it, the more empowered I feel. And I swear the less clothing I started, like the layers just started coming off and I just felt better and better. And I had women coming up to me and just being like, that was so empowering, and saying what I was feeling, what I feel like I was putting out there. I feel like there's a difference of like, you know, when you own it and you own your body and yourself, it's just so powerful. And to see another woman do that. Yes, Katrina. Yes.
Well,
and all of you, I will
Heather's
watch.
Done that for sure.
All of you, yes, I will watch all of you.
I've seen Heather's cutie booty too, and I'm like, yeah, girl, get it.
I can't help it, you know.
I know.
Sometimes the cheeks want to breathe, like they just want out, you know. You can't help it. You just gotta let them do what they want to do.
I love that.
It's a gift, really, to like all of us.
To the world.
But when I think about it sometimes is that like I get shy about doing that sometimes and feeling like, oh, I wonder what people are gonna think. But then when I see other people doing it, I'm like, yes, awesome. I love that. Like no matter what you've got to work with, if you're putting it out there, like it's inspiring, you know? So I like, you know, sometimes I get a little like, ooh, should I do this? Should I not? Should I cover up? And sometimes I lose that battle and I do cover up and I'm always like, I would have felt better if I was just like wearing that thing I felt really cool in earlier.
You got to step outside of yourself and be your own, like, you know, life coach. It's like, how do you feel when you see other people doing it? That's how they're going to feel. They see you.
Right.
And it's true because like, I don't know. I feel like our biggest thing too is that we're really afraid of what women are thinking. Like, I don't really think about what men, a lot of times I don't care. Like, I do not, honestly, I don't want any of that. You know, I'm going out. I'm not like going out to be like having guys whistle at me. Like, if I'm dressing up, it's because I want another woman to be like, whoa, yes, all of that. And I want to see them be like, yes, like,
yes, I agree.
Totally.
For sure.
but I think we all need to be aware of that. Like, we're really just doing it for each other.
We
So,
are.
like,
It's beautiful.
I was thinking about that because I remember seeing some comments about someone making the comment about, oh, well, if they didn't want us to say something, they wouldn't dress like that. I'm like, do you understand that if you just would stop making comments about women's bodies, we would dress way sexier. If people were like, if I could walk down the street wearing like way less clothing without getting harassed or hassled, I would be mostly naked anytime it's hot out. And so would most of us. Like, we really wouldn't be wearing so much clothes. We cover up because we don't want to draw like excessive unwanted attention from men. If that wasn't a factor, we would all be like
titties and ass everywhere, and it would be a beautiful world. It would be a beautiful world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Bring it.
We can go to an island. Just get rid of all the guys.
Just dress sexy for us ladies. That's just what it needs to be for.
Yeah.
You know what kind of what the birder community is all about though? Isn't that kind of one of the I mean, I've always, at least in my experience with that community, you know what I mean? That was one of the communities, the queer community's into it too. Like, you know, they're not into body shaming, they're into body positivity and love.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Definitely. So there are definitely communities out there that are like that for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can find pockets of it. Anytime you find yourself in a situation like that, there's this feeling of relief. Like you don't have to like restrain yourself in the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and at any age too, right? Because I mean, I've seen there's that lady that's like, what is she, in her 70s or 80s, and she dresses in crop tops and like two-piece bikinis, like Instagram. She's like some Instagram sensation. I remember seeing her and I'm just like, that is so awesome.
Right.
You know, I'm like, get it. I want to be like that. Booty shorts, 80.
Well, and also just like, you look at all of us in our age groups, I mean, 20s through 50s really, and we're kind of all part of this group where it's like, we're not going to be 70-year-olds who dress like what we think of when we think of grandmothers, like
the short curly hair.
We're not just going to instantly become these people. Like, you're going to see, you know, everybody's going to be tattooed and have like, you know,
colorful hair
and look the same as they always have. It's going to be really funny. And, you know, they're not going to be rocking out to classical. They're going to be playing like old Busta Rhymes or something. Like, I don't know. It's going to be really weird. 80-year-olds.
Well, it's funny. I mean, to think about like when Julia and I were kids in the 70s, you know, everybody looked like they were old. They looked old for 40 years. Yeah, in their 20s, right? I mean, they just like, as soon as they got married and had kids, it's just homely. Everyone just got homely. Just, you know, it was weird. And it's so true. I mean, I think, you know, people that are me and Julia's age, I'm the same age as Julia, right? And like, her and I are young and vibrant, right? And it's like a lot of that has to do with the fact that we've given ourselves our art. I feel like because I've allowed myself to be a musician, I'm able to stay young at heart and stay looking young as well. I agree. Right?
Sure.
Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I think you're 100% right, Princella. Like, in our people that are 70 years old, you know, no, that's only another 20 years. I'm not going to be like, you know,
that's right.
All of a sudden,
wearing a tent and doing all the, you know, getting that.
We're not going back. The normal doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't.
Which is a beautiful thing.
High open road ahead. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you know, and I've just been really proud of like watching how much women have taken for themselves over the last just even 20 years.
Yeah.
It's been beautiful to watch. It's been a slow burn, you know. When I was a kid and was told I couldn't do things because I was a girl, I was like, what does that even mean? And I fought with it and I struggled with it for a long time. And men constantly were trying to take that power or that idea and that thought away from me. And they just wanted me to fall in line. So it's been really beautiful watching how, you know, powerful we can affect change through just by doing what we want to do,
Yeah.
doing what's
Mhm.
in our hearts, you know? So
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm finding lately, the more I embrace not giving a fuck what anybody thinks, the more I feel empowered to, advocate for others in the world, right? To be a warrior for, to help other people. Like the more I can be
Mhm.
strong in whoever I want to be, the more I can stand up for other people, I guess.
Well, it's easier to advocate when you don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Heather, you were trying to get into the studio. Has that happened yet?
No, I had to cancel the session last month and I haven't regrouped it. One of the members of my band was out of town for all of this month. So I went back to work like on my own, doing my own like pre-production and demos and stuff, recording by myself. And I was sending it off to the band to do some remote sessions. But that really hasn't been lining up. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the replacement or the way moving forward. So I actually like a couple weeks ago realized that I had been kind of hyper focused on getting my album done, and then that big setback was really frustrating, and I realized that I just needed to set it down for like at least a short amount of time, just to get some space and like a little bit more clarity and kind of refocus. So I've still got all the songs that I want to record, but I haven't really regrouped to figure out how I'm gonna do that. So I'm not sure. I realized I needed to just be a little bit more patient. I was kind of pushing forward up against some obstacles that I was I think I just needed to give it a little bit more time, because I think that sense of urgency was creating some pressure that was not necessary. So yeah, I'm not sure. I hopefully within the next month or so I can start working with the band again, see where it takes us.
Good.
All in good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Is
Yeah,
every
we've been working up a bunch of songs with Shayna. We have the Museum of Flight show got canceled.
Why?
It had something to do with the way they were set up to handle COVID restrictions not lining up with. So I don't really know.
no.
I was actually wondering about that because when I went online to kind of check to buy a ticket, it was ambiguous because it didn't. So if it was going to let me buy one ticket, but I didn't know if it was one ticket that was buying me a pod, or if it was one ticket and I was sitting with other people.
Right.
So I think that's probably what you're talking about because it was really ambiguous. And it was like $150 for one ticket. Am I buying all 4 tickets that are like all the people sitting together? And then I'm just like, hey, who wants a ticket? You know?
I don't know how they were doing that, but I guess it's been postponed. But we're still going to get together and jam and play a set at Jimi Hendrix Park.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to come.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's great.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm almost fully vaccinated, so I'll be more apt to want to come to jams.
Right.
Shayna was like, I'll host a birthday jam at my house if just let me know. And I'm like, I mean, of course on the inside I'm like screaming, yes, I'm coming. And then part of me is like, but I'm not vaccinated yet and I feel really weird and I don't know who's going to be there. And okay, I probably shouldn't.
I'm fully vaccinated and I still feel really weird.
Yeah.
So I probably will not feel weird for a while. So
Can we like normalize going for a walk at night? Because like seriously, I haven't when I leave the house at night now, I feel really weird. And I'm like, no. I used to leave the house at 11 o'clock at night sometimes and
And
have
go
it
out,
like
start your night.
warm,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I think part of like reacquainting myself with the public means I need to start going for walks at
Yeah.
night.
Oh my God,
Night
date walk
walks.
nights. Yes.
Well, we did that on Capitol Hill just this last Friday.
When we went, yeah, when I totally went up there for the shows behind the
the
glass, that
Art
Diane
Behind the
show and that
Glass.
Vermilion, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Anna,
Which was
Anna
really
Barr.
cool idea, which I actually felt pretty good about being there. I was able to see inside and I was
Yeah.
able to stay away from people. So it was great.
Yeah. And I'm going to do the one on May 7th. So I'm really excited about that. I'm glad I got to check it out. And then you were there. So that was really cool.
I just
So-
couldn't take it anymore. I needed to leave the house and I
Oh.
knew that show was happening. And I was like, fucking, I need to go.
I need to go.
Go out.
That would be possible to at least like have things to go do and see.
And be
Yeah.
seen.
You know,
And
once
be
the
seen.
once it's a little nicer out, we'll be out there doing stuff.
Yes, agreed. You can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna
I'm
be a hell of a
excited.
summer.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be
I think it's just gonna have to be like reacquainting ourselves with being in public again and being around people and being around people that are like doing the right thing. I think that's the hard part is that like people are just starting to give up and not give a fuck. And that's really difficult because it's like, no, we're like almost there. We're like almost there. Don't go and ruin it now, you know? And
Mhm.
so like, you know, part of the hesitation, I guess, and like re-engaging with the world is really just like, do I trust all the other people out there in the world to do the right thing?
right.
That's the way it always is with everything, right? People have children and they do a great job and then they set them free. You gotta hope that other people also taught their children right.
Oh dear God.
I think that's the scariest part about the pandemic though, and playing music to me, like with Trick Handles, we just got a new bass player and keyboard player. So we have
Ooh,
two new
nice.
members. Really excited about them. They're both super, super talented, but it's like, yeah, when do we play? When do we feel comfortable playing? You know,
Yeah.
even with each other. I mean, it's kind of weird we're wearing masks, you know, and everything. And yeah, when does
Right.
that's the other thing is like you have to think about it's not just about the crowd, but then it's like the rest of your band and you know, be that close with them on stage or play a show. You can't really play at these small clubs anymore. You know, a Sunset stage is not going to cut it. A Connor Burns stage is definitely not going to cut it, you know?
Mhm.
Like you need a Numo size stage. You need something with space that you can spread out
And bring your own mic.
which I've been doing for years
Me
just because
too.
like
Too.
I used to tour so
Yeah.
much and it's just so disgusting. And guys, I'm sorry, but guys, like just there's like some butthole breath. I don't know, like it's almost like a pukey thing. I don't know. It smells like almost every microphone after a guy band. When I feel like not when women perform those.
You keep butthole breath.
I don't know why. I'm just like, why does this always smell the same? I shouldn't be smelling mics anyway, but
I
Ew.
can't-
probably
I get it. I smell them too. I'm like, why am I smelling this mic?
Ew.
like you
Gross.
should just and that's
You're just making sure you're just checking. You're like, oh God, I don't want to do this, but you do it anyways.
Right?
It's like,
well, the real key, this is you get you ask the bartender to get a napkin and pour a little vodka on the napkin. Then you go back. Burp, burp, burp. Better.
Wow.
It is
Smart.
that's the way to do it if you have to share. But I've also lost a bunch of mics. Like I left a mic in the J&M one time after a really awkward show and I just didn't even want to go back and get it because the show
Oh,
was
God.
so like a little awkward. Nothing against the J&M. They're great. It was us, our crowd for the night. It was an off show.
there's also a weird stage inside the J&M too. It's kind of being sideways like that. It was so
Kind of in the middle. It feels like you're in the middle of the bar, not like playing on a stage. It's kind of like you're right. Like people could just be like playing pool right next to you in the stage. It's how it feels. It's like really awkward.
Yeah, it was really awkward. It is a really awkward stage.
Yeah.
I would love to see lots of outdoor shows this summer with like bonfires. Like there's a fire and there's music. That's
Mhm.
what
I think you are going to see that. There's going to be
Yeah.
probably a
yeah.
lot of backyard jams, backyard parties, you
Mhm.
know. I'm sure you, Heather, you and Shayna will probably have some like stuff at your house. I know that we want to do stuff in our backyard. I'm sure
I
Tim
do too.
Kennedy is going to do stuff in his backyard, you know.
Yeah. Me
then-
and Robbie have talked about it too. We have a huge backyard and we're like, well,
Yeah.
we
Yep.
could do it.
Reposado has been doing little jam sessions over at Gasworks, and then we're doing that Jimi
Oh,
Hendrix Park thing. I think parks are good.
I think parks are good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that. I went for a walk with Karen and Joey last Sunday, and I was like, well, it looks like we should have went to Gasworks instead of Green Lake.
Yes.
Because I was at Green Lake earlier that day.
Hilarious.
Funny.
Reposado did some jams on Alki a couple years ago, and that was so fun playing on the
Mm.
beach.
Mm,
Oh,
that's gotta happen
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's about to be that time of year.
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, Reposado, they started out in Columbia City just busking on corners, you know? So that makes sense that those guys are still doing that, you know?
Yeah.
They're just bigger now. They're like a pack of 10 now instead of a pack of 2.
Right.
Right.
A packet too. I like that. Well, this has been awesome to connect with all of you ladies, and
Yeah, really, really nice.
yeah,
Thank you
just-
so much for joining us.
yeah,
Such a gift. Thank you so much.
yeah. I love hearing what you guys have been doing and what's gonna happen, and I'm just look forward to seeing all of you shine as this year unfolds in the years to
Yeah.
come. So we should
Same.
all stay in touch and come out to a Blood Moon Orchestra show whenever that happens.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
But
Yes.
also your show on May 7th at Vermilion. It's,
yeah,
the speakers are outside and everyone just kind of stands in the street, and then Katrina's inside behind the glass. So
yeah, and I have Blazing
cool.
Space gonna do some visuals, so I'm excited about that.
yeah, so that might be nice.
Yeah,
The sun might still be out a little bit when we're there.
it might
May
be
May 7th.
May 7th, a
May
Like
Friday.
8 o'clock at like 8 p.m. at Vermilion.
Yeah, 8
Sounds good.
8 to 9. I'll do like an hour-ish. Yeah.
Send a thingy.
Okay. Yes, there will be
Invite a thingy.
a
You know.
thingy.
Yeah.
I'll send a thingy.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, cool. Well, yay, everybody. I love you all.
Yeah.
Awesome. So nice
This
to
was
see you
great.
all.
Yeah,
glad
so
you
Nice
much.
to see you all. Really nice to meet you, Julia. And
You
nice
too,
to
babe.
talk to you more, Michelle.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Heather. And nice to see you,
Nice
Katrina.
to-
Say hi.
See you all in person soon.
Yes,
Yeah,
for
definitely.
sure. All
Yeah.
right.
All right.
Bye,
Awesome.
ladies.
Take care.
Bye.
You knew you follow the signs 'cause the moon is so brightly above. You came here to be seen. You came here to love your white. Ay,